welcome back to I Married a Nice Guy Narcissist. Now, in the last video, in part 4, I talked about why I said the nice guy narcissist. Let me explain. Now, in this video, what I'm going to talk about is what led me to search for answers to figure out what I was dealing with. I didn't know we had a name for it. So I started searching Google to see if anybody was going through what I was going through because I just couldn't make no sense of it. When I was younger, it probably was different, but we were getting older in our 30s and stuff and 40s, and I'm just like, I don't think I could do another 20 years of this or whatever, or live the rest of my life like this. There's something wrong because it's so much, and a lot of things I didn't mention because I can't. It's so much. But in the past, he would say he would go get some help. Like I just thought it was like something mental, which it was, but he had quite a few things going on. But also too, it makes sense to me what he told me in the beginning, what he went through as a child. And it makes sense to me because his mom was only 14 years old when she married his father. That's another story. Anyway, so I was searching on Google trying to find out, anything because at this point I had went through the fire with this man. And nothing ever changed in our relationship. Nothing was ever solved. You couldn't say nothing to him without him taking it as criticism or anything. This is like everything I said, it turned into an argument. Everything I would try to talk to him about, turned into an argument. Anyway, so I'm searching on Google and everything, and I type it in, typing in different stuff, and I start coming up with what it was. And other people talking about their experiences. I was like, oh my God, there is an actual name for this. I'm reading day and night about these stories, and I'm just like blown away. So that was when I first started waking up to what I was dealing with, which I had no clue about narcissists and narcissism or any of that. But you gotta stick with the story because towards the end of the story, it's crazy. And he actually, towards the end of the story, he gets diagnosed with this, but he don't want to accept it. Anyway, so I find out, and by me not knowing what I know, and then I found out that I shouldn't have been letting him know that I knew that. But what I did was, I went and I said, because he would act like, I'm going to get some help, blah, 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 blah. And so I was like, I found this, and when I told him about it, he went to the library, he got a book on it, and he was reading, and I'll never forget this. He was reading, and he was like, what you said about this, that, what they were saying in the book. Excuse me. And later, maybe about a week, he took that book back and he started calling me a narcissist. I swear. I swear. But at this time that I was doing this, I was praying to God. I was reading. I was educating myself. All of it. And it was like July, on my son's birthday. His brother passed. And that same day, I mean, I was broke up. I was, and it was on my son's birthday. I was broke up and grieving and everything. And I promise you, he's never showed any, empathy or anything. And it didn't make sense to me because a normal person would have some type, even if you don't even know the people. You know how you find out about something, you don't even know them, and you just sad about it. It's just like, ooh, you just sad about it. Not him. Anyway, his brother had just passed. And when I tell you that man caused me, he would not let me grieve. He put extra pain on me. And I remember when I went to bed, we went to bed, his addiction. He wanted to do, he had an addiction. And he didn't care what happened. His addiction came first. And I'm just like, I can figure out, like, ain't you broke up about your brother passing? Ain't you hurt? Ain't you something? If anything, we should be comforting each other. Good. This is the time that he like to inflict more pain. I don't think I went to sleep that night till maybe 5 in the morning because I fought with the man all night. And once again, you couldn't say no to him. And I mean, he was sick. I didn't know how sick. I knew something was wrong, but I didn't know how sick he was. And his brother had just passed the same day. He never even talked about nothing. Like it was almost like nothing didn't even happen. And so I was just grieving. I was crushed. I was like, oh my God, because it was just unexpected for me, and it was like I'm like, wow, because I had earlier was thinking about him, and we would go visit him a lot, and anyway, that's a whole other story about that, and I'm gonna get into some of that too. But anyway, he was harassing me all night, wanting to do this addiction thing. He had an addiction, sex addiction, and it didn't matter what was going on. It didn't matter what was going on, and I just couldn't understand. Like, so anyway, I fought with him as long as I could. So when I finally fell asleep, he still in the middle of the night he came and fought me like forced my legs open. And he was a heavy man. He was a big guy. He forced him over, and just I was so wore out and tired and half asleep. I didn't even fight no more. What I did was he don't know, and if he do know, he wouldn't have cared anyway. He ain't never cared if I dropped a tear. Never, ever cared. Literally, no time that I dropped a tear that he felt anything. No comfort, no nothing. And so I was half asleep and I was just tired of fighting. And as I'm just laying there, tears just rolling down my eyes. And he don't even care. He do what he do, and he going to sleep and sleep like a baby. Because a narcissist, they can do all that to you and sleep like a baby. You can be up all night in distress. They don't care whatsoever. I experienced it many years. I didn't know, like I said, what I was dealing with. And I don't even know how and why I even dealt with it. When I think about it now, it was because of the trauma from the past. And I didn't look at it the way I look at it now. You know, so he done that. And it really put me in the mindset like I really need to find out what I mean, because this don't make no sense to me. Like, and when my brother died, he I never seen no, no, like he never comfort me. He never. It was just like nothing happened. He watched you suffer in pain, and he just watched you, and then he inflict more pain on you because when my brother died, he inflict some pain on me, and I was processing it. It was just so much. I wish I had been in the mindset that I am now, but it's like they don't care, and you can see it. And when I think about it now, I literally get sick. I literally get sick. And that is why another thing that he kept his baby mama and me trying to, the confusion, which I never really got into dealing with her. I let him deal with her. Um, but he had told me all kinds of things in the beginning to set it up for me not to like her, and she didn't like me. She didn't like me. It ain't that I didn't like her, but he was telling me all these things that she did to him and how she was, and I was hearing things about how she wasn't caring for his daughter and stuff like that. I was like, kind of woman is this, Anyway, but now I see that that is what he wanted. And I also realized like a lot of things he did in the background to irritate her. And I can see and understand why she didn't like me. And I can't at this point I don't feel no way towards her because I understand what it was. I understand what it was. And if I ever get an opportunity to talk to her about it, I will. And I will tell her, I understand why you didn't like me. He set it up that way. He made it that way because I remember a lot of stuff he did, that was coaching me to not like her. And, I can remember a lot of things that I didn't understand why he was doing those things. And I don't care what she was. He told me all kinds of stuff that she was a stripper, she was a whore, and all da 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 da. To be honest with you, I don't know any of those things were true. To be honest with you, they all most likely was lies. And if it was some truth to it, it wasn't what he was saying. He did it. This ain't something that he just started with me. Anyway, so back to whew, I got to Googling this and I was like reading a lot of people's stories and things, and it was blowing my mind. And I started educating myself. I got into therapy at this time. Though he said I got into therapy to get back at him, what does that mean? You've been in therapy for years and it has done nothing for you because you didn't get into therapy for the same reasons that I got into therapy. In fact, that was just somewhere for you to go or to lie on me about to get his supply from the therapist. Now, feel that. And then one day I goes to therapy with him, and she gets a new, get a better view of what's really going on. And she says to him, and he looking like with his head down, because he know he didn't sit up there and lie to that lady about me. And she was like, I want you to bring her with you more often. She gets a better view because basically he wasting his time. He wasting what originally that he was there for. In fact, he was just there for the supply. Because they can get supply through anybody that's gonna listen to they BS, or they sad story, and they really not the ones the victim. In fact, they the one inflicting the pain on others. But so the more and more I was educating myself and stuff like that, and praying to God, I started getting strength. And the more that I learned, and the more I prayed and listened to God, but it took me a while, because God told me, don't say nothing. Don't be acting up. Because, see, he knew how to push them buttons. He'd be pushing them buttons. I didn't realize that. He would say something that didn't even make no sense. I don't even know what he talking about. Pushing them buttons. Pushing them buttons. And I'm falling for it. So when I realized, I spent months and months reading and educating myself and talking to the therapist about it, and this, and that. I learned how to deal. I shut my mouth. I didn't say anything. I didn't react. Only thing I did was whatever it is that needed an answer or something, I did. But other than that, when God told me to shut my mouth, do not respond to anything. And I don't care if it's crazy that he's saying, do not respond. And it took me a minute, and I would fail, and I'd be like, oh, you got me again. But this last time, I'll never forget it. I was looking out the window up into the sky, up with looking at the trees, everything, because I was talking to God every day. I had to get out of that. It was getting bad. And I started having visions and dreams of him trying to kill me or wanting to kill me. I know that to be true. I know that to be true because I got a call. I got a call. But let me say this before I say that is, so he starts on one day, and it be small stuff to try to push your buttons, because they just, at this point, he don't know how to come at me, because I'm really not talking that much, or really not saying that much. I'm still, talking, but not like usual. If it's something I don't need to respond to or answer, I don't. Doing just focusing on me at this point. So he comes and says, I noticed that you looked at me a certain way. Now, come on now. And what's crazy is that this man always had a mean mug. Mean mug. A lot of people's like, he don't even smile or nothing. Yeah, he always had a mean mug. So I'm just like, I don't know what you're talking about. He trying to start anything he can. And since I wasn't focused on him and on my phone doing, mind my business, he gonna accuse me of having a relationship talking to a man on the phone. I'm gonna end this video, and I'm going to do part 6. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Until my next video, bye now.